Hey guys, tonight we're going to be looking at Vasyl Lomachenko, my pound for pound top fighter in the world right now. Um, I have a hard time saying that he's not the best fighter in the world because since he's kind of gotten his professional groove, he's dominated literally everyone that he's fought. And he's fought some good fighters, Gary Russell Jr. In his only his third fight, goes to fight Gary Russell Jr. and pitches that beating that he put on him. It was just truly phenomenal. But we're gonna be looking at him. I know it's not his newest fight. I know he just fought Sosa 2 nights ago. Um, but I don't want to get my video taken down, so I'm gonna do one with Walters, and hopefully this one stays up. But again, another fight where he pitches a complete shutout against another high-level fighter. Walters is not like a great fighter, but he's a good fighter. I think he's like probably the epitome of what I would call an ABC boxer. He just doesn't know how to establish control over a fighter, but he's got good counters. He's got really good eyes. He's able to see where he needs to place his shots, and he does that very well. He still does some things that are really good, and he's like, until he gets a new coach or someone to teach him more about the art of boxing, I think he's kind of gotten as good as he could get for the skills that he has. But I definitely think that he could get better for sure. He shows that he can. Well, anyway, this is about Vasyl Lomachenko, not Nicholas Walters. I'm getting a little sidetracked. But so let's take a look at how he sets up the complete and utter beating that he puts on this guy. Let's get into it. So here we got, and this is really amazing. Lomachenko has an extremely active guard, right? As soon as the fight starts, he's in his face, right? Changing guards, moving. And right here, this is one thing that I wanted to point out. One of his tactics is creating a rhythm for his opponent, right? And by being so active with his guard, his opponent doesn't know when to punch, right? So he kind of waits for him to settle down, and Lomachenko uses that to his advantage to create a punching rhythm with Walters. And you'll see it here. He jabs, and then he kind of slowing down, and he kind of waits for him. We'll do it again. So he's gonna jab, and now no changes in his guard, slow, waiting, and then he goes to block a shot, expecting Walters to throw a punch there. Trying to set up a rhythm so that he can work off of Walters' jab, and you'll see him do that later. Another thing he does really well in this fight, he doesn't allow Walters to lead at all. He completely takes his ability to lead the fight away from him by getting on his bicycle and moving, right? And then gets back to his working his guard, parrying a shot right there. Just really always thinking. And again, throwing a jab, waiting for him, nothing happens. Feints, or changes guards, waits for him, gets him to throw a punch. Again, jab, wait for him, slip the punch. And he's setting up a rhythm that he's trying to make Walters comfortable in punching in. Because another aspect of it is that he can't just... Walters knows that he can't just let Lomachenko's jab dictate the whole fight. So he has to be punching and stopping Lomachenko from thinking and having all the time that he needs. But I don't think that Walters knows any other way to do that except to punch, basically on his rhythm. Just really smart boxing from him. Let me go back real quick. Right there, jab, wait, and then he kind of dips here. Remember the rhythm that he's trying to establish? This is the first time that he dips outside of Walters' guard. That's something he's going to do a lot during the course of this fight. And he's going to do some really great things with it. Right there, really important tell of the fight. Lomachenko uses the double jab to establish lead foot dominance, getting his foot on the outside of Walter's foot. So let's see how he does it. Jab, and then jab, and he puts his foot on the outside of Walter's foot. And for the purposes of this video, it's really important to see how Walters reacts to it. So look at Walter's left hand, how it's in front of him, but he doesn't have his high guard up, right? He's got his hand low, kind of like if he's like doing the Philly shell or whatever you want to call it. But he changes his guard. Not only does he have to keep an eye on Lomachenko, but he can't let his guard be pinned to his head, which would further prevent him from being able to see what Lomachenko is doing. He has to keep an eye on him. But there's another reason why he does that. We'll get to that later on in the video. It's part of Walter's game plan. Again, beautiful. He sits here, feints, waits for him, and perfectly times his counter into his guard, right? He's got the rhythm set up that he wants for Walters, and he just keeps baiting him into it. And it's meaning that Walters is not really doing anything. Again, more feinting, and right there, you can see this like really subtle movement that Lomachenko has right here. He kind of pulls back and to the right, like he's going to execute a pull counter off of Walter's jab after setting up this rhythm. And you will see him do that shortly in the video too. It's just brilliant. But still setting more stuff up here. Again, waiting for his jab. Right there. Again, jab. Gets him to counter his jab. And he's learning the speed and the rhythm of Walter's punches as well, which he's going to fight off of. And do a lot of brilliant things in this round and in the next round. But right there, just parrying the jab. Just brilliant. Right there. Again, setting up lead foot dominance. He's going to take a step right here. And he's just going to feint inside and watch Walter's guard. Boom. He brings his hand down. He has to continue being able to see what Lomachenko's doing. So he's doing something really good. It's really smart. And he's got a game plan that we're just about to get to. This is really interesting too. He jabs, occupies Lomachenko's guard, takes lead foot dominance, and then throws that body shot. One thing I want to talk about real quick, that's just an open punch, right? That's just there. But why is Lomachenko not going for that, right? Why is he not just jumping in, taking lead foot dominance with by occupying his guard and then throwing a right hook to the body? You know, the left hook to the body is open for Walters. And that's part of the ABC boxing, right? The opening is there, so he takes it, right? But the thing is if Walters knows that opening is there and that's a possible strategy for Lomachenko, that means that he's employing it right here. That means he's going to be ready when it's employed on him, right? Because they mirror each other's stances, being left-handed and right-handed. Anything that's open for Lomachenko is open for Walters. You know, everyone says, oh, the straight left, that's open. Oh, the straight right, that's open. But when you're in camp and you're waiting for these fights and you're training, everyone's thinking that, right? So if it's on Lomachenko, or if it's on Walter's mind that punch is open, and it has to be open, it has to be on Lomachenko's mind too, he has to know that his opponent is going to be ready for it. Obviously, this is not the greatest case to be pointing this out, as it just, happened to land on Lomachenko, and here I am talking all this, about praising him about it and this and that. But once you see what Lomachenko does with all the things that I've shown you that he's set up or is setting up, you're going to see why he doesn't take these easy punch baits, and it's brilliant. So moving back on, jab. And he waits for Walter's counterpunch and takes lead foot dominance right here and shoots in again, hand to control him. It gets him to stop throwing punches if he's going to throw a punch, and then just shoots a great body shot. Just brilliant. And that's all off of the rhythm that he's established with Walters. See, jab, waits for him, jabs over his jab, takes lead foot dominance, and then is able to land a straight left to the body. Just brilliant boxing from him. I think I missed something back here. Yeah, I did. Oh no, I did talk about that. Okay, let's go back. Boom, great body shot. Look at that. Expects him to, he does the thing where he pauses, gives him an opportunity to punch, and then closes his guard a little bit, expecting a punch. But nothing comes, just extremely responsible defense. This is just more of him trying to bait out Walter's jab again with the rhythm, right? Jabs, waits for the rhythm, and then gives him this head movement. He has something planned for him off of his own jab, but Walter's not taking the bait because, look what happened to him just a second ago. So he shoots out to the side right there, changes angles and resets. Again, jabs up, dips to the right. Walters lowers his guard again, gets a good look at him, make sure he's not coming in. And it doesn't look like at the moment Walters wants him to have his hand low, right? So his hand is low, he's getting a look at him, right? So he throws a jab to try to pick his guard up, right? Oh, man. And here's the first instance that we figure out what he wants to do with that outside lead dominance. He wants to jab at him. Boom. It brings up Walter's guard, and then the double jab right here. But Walter's ready for him. He's seen this tape of Lomachenko 1,000 times. And he's able to time a great body shot. Again, really good timing and awareness from Walters. Oh, my video kind of froze. There we go. And Walters shows that he has really good eyes, because that was the first time that he's been in a position where he needs to land that counter to Lomachenko's dominant foot control or lead position. And he's able to land the punch perfectly. Very well done by Walters. Again, gets him to change guard again, and he knows what's up now. He knows what he's trying to do. Jabbing right here, jab, waits for the jab to come back, parries it, and he moves to the outside. This is also extremely important for the things that Lomachenko is trying to set up for future parts of the round. All off the rhythm that he's creating for Walters to punch, baiting him into it to get the timing and to get down his own foot rhythms and figure out how he's going to be able to create opportunities to punch, set up his own offense. Really brilliant. Another double jab from Lomachenko. And again, Walters says, I got to get out of here. I don't want him to establish lead foot dominance on me, and lowers his guard to keep an eye on Lomachenko. And there's something new, right? So he goes to dip down, and Walters sees that he's taking that little dip, but instead he throws a straight left because now he wants to make him think that he's going to be shooting a straight left because he doesn't want Walters to be putting his guard down because that allows him to continue to put himself into position to land that left hook to the body when Lomachenko moves in. Now, most fighters would say, hey, he caught me with that body shot. He's ready. I'm not going to be able to use that technique anymore. Not Lomachenko. He's too smart. He's too crafty. He wants to take that left hook away from him and continue to assert his dominance. And we'll see how he does that. Here, Lomachenko is just kind of baiting for his jab. You can see when he waits. He wasn't ready for it there because Walters he's learning on the job. He realizes that he's baiting his jab. And he's not going to just let him do it for free. Right there, beautiful. Dips down, sees that Walters changes guard, right? And what does he do? He jabs, but he's jabbing at Walters' glove. And now if he were to go for a double jab and do the same exact move, he'd be caught in the exact same situation he was before. But now he's ready for the hook, jumps in, he gets the timing of it, and he kind of guesses, oh, I guess this is Walter's game plan. This is something that he rehearsed in the gym. He's figured it out. But Lomachenko is making an adjustment now, and he's figuring that out, and he's going to do more with that later. And we'll see. Even in this round, in the same round that he's seen this technique, he's tested the technique for the timing, and he's still going to expose it. But we'll see that in a second. I just want to point this out real quick. Usually Lomachenko, when he throws his jab, and most of his jabs, by the way, he's not landing the jab, right? He's throwing the jab at Walter's guard. It's you kind of have to throw across, or throw it from the inside of the guard to land a jab here. So he's just using it to occupy Walter's guard. But as you see, he goes to throw it to touch his guard, but Walters moves it, and immediately he pulls back his guard and goes to parry the counter that he thinks is coming. Very responsible defense. But back to Lomachenko setting up his shots. Again, jab, waits for him, doesn't use any little head movements or nothing. He's hoping that Walters is going to jab with him, but Walters, he knows that he doesn't want to do that. Again, double jab on his glove, goes to jab his glove again, and Walters backs up, changes guards to get a look at him to make sure he hasn't pivoted in and taken an angle. Just responsible defense from Walters. As far as everything that Walters knows he needed to do before the fight started. Again, more good rhythm and timing work from Lomachenko here. Right there. Jabs. Walters tries to counter over his jab. But even though Lomachenko wasn't ready, when he brings his foot down off of his own jab and Walters counters, he rocks back, gains lead foot dominance off of Walters' punch. Remember the punch that I showed you earlier where he threw the jab, got the rhythm of it, and then parried the jab and slipped to outside of Walters' guard? This is what he's using it for, is to get his timing so that he can gain lead foot dominance off of Walters' punches as well. We'll watch that one more time. It's not super clear, but he gets to the outside. I can't even see if he lands the punch. I'd turn the audio on and see. I don't want the audio to get the video taken down. And also the audio on this video is actually a little bit messed up. So it doesn't even matter. Just this technique of using Walters' punches to gain lead foot dominance is just brilliant work from Lomachenko. So moving on. There we go again. The same technique, right? Get to the outside so that he can pivot and set up offense. But he does it a little differently this time. We're going to slow it down and I'm going to show you. So Walters dips down, then Lomachenko dips down and is like, oh, this is my opportunity. Normally he was going with a double jab approach, but Walters was always ready for the double jab and would shift back and get his guard low. So this time Lomachenko elects to do it off of a single jab. So he goes there, touches his jab to control it, shows him the left hand, but he throws the left hand only to touch Walter's guard so that he can't counter and so he can control him. Shifts inside. Walter still manages to get the left hook off, but he punches him in the leg. He doesn't really get a shot off. And then now Lomachenko is able to pivot and create a T with their feet, right? So that both of Walter's feet are in between Lomachenko's feet, creating probably the best position that he could possibly be in, where Walters cannot land any punches. And Lomachenko can land punches with both shots, and then you can see Lomachenko's shoulder right there. He lands a hard left to the body of Walters. We'll watch it in slow-mo again. Just brilliant boxing. Control, pivots in, lands a body shot. And you can see the moment that it lands on Walter's body. Just brilliant boxing from Lomachenko. And all of that from dipping to the right side and watching his guard, setting up the ability to get outside by controlling his guard with the jab. Just brilliant boxing. Anyway, moving on. Lands a straight left hand. And you wonder, why is Walters just standing there, right? Like the first time viewing, it's very easy to say, oh, Walters is just standing there, letting him punch him in the head. But here we go, see him control his guard. Brings his guard up, and this is the part where Lomachenko sets that punch up. Remember, he establishes lead foot dominance, and look at Walter's glove. He's expecting him to take an angle on him outside, brings his left hand glove down because that's what Lomachenko's been showing him, and he's just completely unready for the straight left hand. Another punch that Lomachenko has spent all round setting up with his feints to the outside, controlling his guard, and Walters doesn't even know where to begin. Just brilliant boxing from Lomachenko. Again, he does it again. Shoots to the outside, right? Walters has the same guard, right? Showing that he hasn't made an adjustment yet, like he has previously. And Lomachenko goes to do it again. He doesn't land that punch. Walters gets outside. Not really a lot to break down there. Walters is being very awkward because he doesn't know how to get away from Lomachenko. But just brilliant boxing from Lomachenko. Again, really smart. This time he jabs to Walters' right hand to control it, to stop him from landing offense. Jabs to his jab hand, but Walters is already so confused. He's just moving away and trying to get away. And then that time, he's already in like a decent position, but he shoots forward with the left hand and then uses that to pivot inside. He doesn't land any offense of it because Walters is, he's so scared already. He's been outmaneuvered in this round so many times that he just doesn't know what to do. And again, counter over the jab because he spent so much time establishing the rhythm to find out, how fast or whatever he needs to come in. And he's just completely outplaying Walters. The look on his face as he goes back to his corner is like, oh man, it's going to be a long night. But anyway, that's a round one breakdown of this fight. I'll do round two shortly. I might have it up again later tonight. I might do it tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do the whole fight either. With so many adjustments and stuff, it winds up the videos just get longer and longer, and this one's already 23 minutes long, so much longer than any of my other videos. But anyway, just some brilliant stuff from Lomachenko. All the feinting, establishing a rhythm, figuring out ways to get lead foot dominance, controlling Walter's guard so that he can get there. It's just the epitome of what real boxing is. Finding ways, clever ways, safe ways to set up your offense. A lot of people think that what Lomachenko is doing is really high risk, right? Max Kellerman says it all. High risk, high reward. But as you can see, for the most part, they all seem like pretty safe techniques, right? Control his guard, step inside into a dominant foot position so that your opponent can't punch you, and then punch him in the head. Very simple. And the way that Lomachenko does it, he creates the least amount of risk for him and the most amount of offense. Just brilliant boxing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be doing round two soon, like I said. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know, guys, what you want to see, or if you want me to do the rest of the fight too. Yeah, thanks, guys.